you so much for that spirited and accurate introduction. Sanibonani. Creativity can be a source for growth and also for good. As marketers, we are culture shapers and trendsetters, and with much power comes much responsibility. The isolation, loss, and economic shifts of the past 2 years have made the world take stock of what truly matters. It's changed what we prioritized and even how we consume content. As creative leaders, we need to take stock of how our creativity shows up and what it does for the world around us. Now, while we are still under the same pressure to deliver with cultural relevance and universal resonance, it's particularly critical now that in our desire to move back to normal or a new normal, that we don't leave our evolved audiences and their communities behind. To quote the old rugby adage, for scrumming, we need to touch, pause, and engage. Firstly, we need to touch. We need to be aware of societal shifts and nuances that may not have existed before. And as my friend Bulindlovu will tell you, we need to read the room. We need to pause. We need to pause to allow data and meaningful empathy to drive our creative processes. And then we need to engage with the kind of intention that sees us move beyond campaign to campaign and truly leverage the power of our brands and creativity to drive societal change. Now, very few can realize that, like my industry, or be under as much pressure to demonstrate exactly how significant it's been to drive a reappraisal of who we are and how we show up in society. At SAB, we are a business of over 7,000 employees, 250,000 in what I call the beer economy from sea to sip, and over 1 million livelihoods that rely on us as an industry. And to be unable to trade for 168 days while taking the government to court and dealing with civil unrest, and even most recently, the floods in my hometown of Durban and the drought of Gqeberha, has caused us to touch, pause, and re-engage with the nation differently. While we're doing what we could do in these crises of the past 2 years, we turned to look at how we could saliently communicate our commitment to growing our category while championing responsibility. Our first job was to tell South Africa that responsibility was more than just a footnote.
50,000 lives and livelihoods South African Breweries is responsible for at stake. SAB found itself with the responsibility to all South Africans because they believe a better world is not only one where we fight to save people's lives, but where we fight to save their livelihoods too. So how could SAB put pressure on the government to find better, more sustainable solutions rather than an outright ban? Traditionally, 15% of SAB's media spend was legally required to address responsibility, while 85% of their media was used to sell beer. The idea was simple. We turned beer advertising on its head by making the responsible alcohol use line 85% of the communication. SAB brought people together, not to share beer, but to share in the future well-being of a nation, showing government that SAB and South Africa could be responsible together. Responsible Together trended every week for the duration of the campaign, achieving an average engagement rate of 26% versus the 3% benchmark. SAB's reputation score also improved from 70.3 in 2019 to 74.3 in 2020, their highest reputation score since 2016, allowing SAB's reputation rank to climb from 18th to 12th. And finally, the message hit home. On June 1st, 2020, government lifted the ban on the sales of alcohol.
Alcohol will be sold for home consumption only under
Together, SAB ensured that drinking responsibly would never again be seen as just a footnote on the bottom of an ad. That together, we are all responsible for a better world.
So, while this was busy winning us an Effie, thank you Joe Public, for corporate reputation, we still had to address a challenging relationship with government. We did this not by being a corporate Karen, but by shining a spotlight on the lives and livelihoods and the beer economics that underpin our contribution to the very necessary economic recovery that our country needed.
now decided that the sale of alcohol will be suspended with immediate effect.
Finally, we sought to further drive this reappraisal of our brand by building and launching an evidence-based platform which spoke to our commitment to dealing with the harmful consumption of alcohol. Its name, SAB Sharp. Through strategic partnerships with government and other stakeholders, we've invested multiples of millions of rands into how we fight the issues stemming from the harmful consumption of alcohol across 4 categories. Firstly, we want to help the nation live sharp by uplifting the areas we do business in by supporting 30,000 businesses while improving the safety and upliftment of women in our communities. We commit to help the nation drive sharp by empowering our authorities to enforce regulations deterring drunk driving. Through our alcohol evidence centers and UNITAR training for law enforcement, we aim to reduce alcohol-related road incidents by 10% by 2025. We commit to help the nation to sell sharp by training and rewarding businesses who champion responsible consumption in our communities. We will ensure that 30,000 taverns are accredited against the Responsible Trading Program standard. In addition to subscribing to the legal code, with TalkSharp, we have reimagined what social norms marketing could look like and leveraged the power of our brands, rich in taste and influence, to drive the message home in a measurable way. Now, I'm sure you'll all know of the incredible work that Carling Black Label has done on gender-based violence through the No Excuse platforms, gaining them 2 wins at Cannes in the past 5 years. But I would like to share how Flying Fish delivered an impactful campaign that effectively measured behavioral change.
Welcome to Mzansi, where South Africans like to drink. A lot.
Well, South Africa has been ranked 6th in the world where excessive or binge drinking is concerned.
Drinking too much alcohol can have a long-term effect.
The issue of alcohol abuse is an age-old problem, and it's something that we should all strive to deal with.
It's serious, but not taken seriously. So, how does a fun brand like us put out a responsible drinking message that's totally unexpected? Simple. We replaced the liquor with a food sticker. Introducing the Takeaways Takeover from Flying Fish. We turned every Flying Fish commercial into a food commercial. So where you used to see this, you now saw this. Or heard this.
Some things just don't make sense.
Like turning this Flying Fish ad into a food ad to promote eating when you drink.
We also created a snack chat filter and let fans take over our ads with their favorite takeaways. We went to the source, the liquor stores, and installed vending machines, dispensing meals bought with Flying Fish vouchers. To make sure eating before you drink was as easy wherever you are, We partnered with Uber Eats to create a world-first innovation, a ghost kitchen launched by an alcohol brand, delivering more than just meals. It delivers a smart drinking message too. Eat before you drink. Our fans ate it up. So, when you now ask, what the flying fish? Eat before you drink.
That was an absolutely fantastic campaign and one of my favorite brands. And I really have a strong conviction about the fact that behavioral change has the power to lead to societal change. And we did all of this while delivering SAB's highest reputation score to date. I really do believe that the true power of beer lies in the positive impact it makes in society. My creative godfather, Matthew Bull, says, creativity is worthless unless it works. Sustainable partnerships and programs that can activate our creative campaigns to transform society are critical. That, together with adding measurement and the evaluation of impact and effectiveness, will move us as an industry beyond fluff and gain us the necessary credibility which will empower us to show up in the world as I believe we are called to as an industry. I want to challenge you. Don't just think through the line. Think through to society. Ngiyabonga.